What is up? I just kind of woke up, and as I was taking my dog outside to go for a walk, I had a package waiting for me. I knew it was going to be coming today. I just did not expect it to be first thing in the morning, as soon as I step outside my door. So, what we have here is a new guitar, and it's something that that I thought looked really cool and know that I could modify and make better, and tune it up and do some adjustments to it. So that's kind of the nice thing about cheap guitars, is that if it looks cool, then you can use it and build off of it. You know, just the body is good. I mean, you can swap out electrics, you know, you can swap out pickups, you can swap out controls, you can make adjustments to the strings and how the action plays, on the bridge, the intonation of the strings. You can even, to a slight degree, make some adjustments to the nut if you need to. So there's a lot of things that you can do to upgrade a cheap guitar to make it playable and good. And this is a Best Choice Products guitar, and out of all of them, it plays the best. It was the cheapest, and it plays the best after everything that I did to it. And I did a lot of upgrades to it because I loved this guitar. I thought it was beautiful, and I just put some work into it, and by far the best playing guitar that I have. Very cheap, super cheap, like sub $100 cheap. But it it looks great. Now it plays great, and it sounds pretty good too. So it's kind of what I'm into. Let's get into this. This is from Glarry. There is a style of guitar that I have never owned, and quite frankly, I don't know if I've ever played. So I will say this is the first time I've seen a guitar manufacturer package their guitar like this, but I like it. I mean, it is a complete styrofoam coffin. Most of the time it's a box within a box with some little styrofoam pieces to protect parts of it, but this, full on, is a styrofoam coffin inside of a box. First thing we'll do is, it does come with some accessories like the gig bag. Out of these cheap guitars, the material is a little better than some of the other ones I've seen out there, but this is a dust cover at best. We have a really cheap, very cheap guitar strap. Gets the job done. A guitar pick. It's purple. Looks like just one guitar pick, but it's kind of texturized, so that's kind of nice. Your fingers kind of like grip to it. It's not slick like most guitar picks. We also have a musical instrument cable to plug in, because it is an electric guitar. Doesn't look like the best instrument cable. It's kind of thin. Use it for a little practice amp, something like that. And then it comes with two adjustment tools, if you can see these. One would be for the dowel rod or the truss rod in the neck to adjust the neck, and then the other one is going to be for adjusting the action at the bridge, your string height. So now to show you, oh, hold on. Oh, and a Glarry Music Instruments catalog. A catalog. That's kind of nice. I've never received that before. But anyways, as I was saying, I got this guitar because it's a style of guitar that I don't know if I've ever played. I've definitely never owned it. Don't even know if I've ever played this style guitar. Without further ado, it is a Telecaster. Like a Fender Telecaster, but I liked this because look at that, it is beautiful. Look at that transparent red color there. Woo! And you got the, this is a slim line, so it's a semi-hollow body. You got that nice F-hole there. Ooh, this looks good. So, what really caught my eye about this Telecaster, what I really liked about it, was Telecasters back in the 50s when they were being made originally, and even some of them still to this day. Right here on the bridge, there used to only be three of these, and the pole where you would adjust the intonation went in between two strings, and it had a saddle that fit two of the strings. So there's only three adjustments for intonation, and you really couldn't get down to each string being precisely intonated. So this has 6 individual brass saddles for the strings that I can make sure that every string is properly intonated. It also has a humbucker in the neck pickup, which is something that isn't common on a Telecaster. You can find Telecasters that have them. You can even find Telecasters that have a humbucker on the bridge pickup. But I kind of like that. I like that it's going to have that twangy Telecaster sounding bridge, and it's going to have a nice warm humbucking neck pickup. I'm going to look over it just to see if there's any quality assurance issues. It's got all that styrofoam dust all over it. The paint looks good. There's some small little things, but nothing really to be concerned about. No, I mean, it's clean. It is a nice, clean guitar. Nice satin finish on the back of the neck, which allows your hand to kind of slide for some good playing. Not a fan of glossy necks. Glossy necks kind of catch your sweaty hand. And the Fender, I believe, is my only guitar that actually has a glossy neck. Oh, probably the silver tone as well. But I don't know why Fender gave that a glossy neck. But yeah, nice satin finish on the back. Let's check the frets, see if they've been nice and cleaned. Ooh, yeah. My finger didn't catch once on any of these fret ends. They've been filed down nicely. Woo, yeah. Nothing, don't even feel it. The bridge, I'll probably sand the nut here a little bit, just to, you know, when I get up here, that thumb might catch, or my finger there, if I'm getting up and, you know, I don't know. I just, for comfortability's sake, I'm gonna just kind of sand down the nut a little bit. And no offense to Glarry, but I'm definitely sanding off your logo. I don't have a name yet. Rosie might be a good name, but I'll be naming her. The tuning keys. Or in fact, let's tune it up real quick. Alright, it's tuned up. The tuning keys feel nice. They feel nice and nice and tight. There's a nice firmness to them, which I appreciate in a tuning key. So that's good. Being that it is a Telecaster, I know some Telecasters do have them, but the majority of them don't. There is no whammy bar, so you don't have the issues with tuning that you'd have in a Stratocaster. So it should stay in tune pretty well. And there's some things that I'm going to do, some adjustments I can make to assure that it stays in tune. Well, assures that it stays in tune better. These are cheap strings. That'll be probably one of the first things that I take off of this guitar is the strings. Just because I have a preference of strings, and I have some that I will be adding to this guitar. So here we are. I've done a little bit of work on it. I replaced the plate with this nice ornate plate, the knobs with these pearl top knobs, the bridge plate with this nice ornate bridge plate. I had to drill, because this is a little bit longer than the other bridge plate, I had to drill some new holes further back here. The way that this sat is different than the way that the other one sat. For whatever reason, I think this one's just a tiny bit bigger than the other control knob plate. So I did have to take my Dremel and route out a little bit of the pick guard so that it would fit in place. Took the, one thing before we get going, I did find one small flaw. It is right here on the corner of the F hole. Let's see if I can zoom in there. See, it's just a small coloration detail. Looks like the finish just, for whatever reason, it just doesn't, whatever. It's a small defect. For a $100 guitar, that's not a problem. Besides, as it, gets dings and dents and wear on it, it'll give it more character. That's just the beginning of that character right there. So, the button strap up here wanted to pop off immediately, so what I did is I backed out the screw and I took it off. And then in the hole, I took a toothpick and I dipped that toothpick in wood glue, and then I shoved it in there as far as it would go, broke it off so that there was wood, new wood in there to drill, or I didn't drill, but screw this screw into, and now it's in there real nice, tight and secure. On the back here, I did change the neck plate. The neck plate was just a chrome before. Now let's see if I can get focused in on here. Now we got a nice little pin-up Western cowgirl. I'm gonna say that is Rosie. That's Rosie. And this is a classic piece of artwork done by Gil Elvgren. You can actually see his signature right there above that bottom screw. But Gil Elvgren used to do these beautiful pin-up art, and I found this engraved neck plate and ordered it for this guitar. So it's a Gil Elvgren neck plate on there. So we'll say that that's Rosie, and this is Rosie here. Well, I have aged and stained the headstock of this guitar. It is looking beautiful. I kind of like that they're spots that it took unevenly. That's most likely due to me not sanding those spots well enough, but I kind of dig it. It looks cool, kind of uneven like that. But the stain I used was, let's see here. This is concentrated liquid stain vintage amber, which is kind of like a color trying to resemble a lot of the classic Fenders. But along with that, I used some coffee grinds, I used a little bit of bourbon, and some actual like loose leaf chewing tobacco. Good old-fashioned Red Man loose leaf chewing tobacco. And just kind of let all that soak in there and kind of do its thing, and it's looking good. I really like what it did in some of the areas with the wood grain. And before, this gap in between the pick guard here and the bridge plate here, before it was more narrow at the top and wider at the bottom, and I figured out what that was. I had to get it straight. Now it is exactly 1 inch from this little raised bumped edge here to the pick guard, and it looks a lot straighter and better. And the holes down inside of each of these, as you can see, there's those little holes there. They are now all lined up, and I had to bore them out to make them work, so it works. I have put in the new Pure Tone multi-point contact. It is soldered in there, and you'll see the difference. This one has one single arm, and then the 2 soldering points, one single arm. This one, the Pure Tone, has 2 large ones, 2 small ones, and it is going to constantly get contact on. So that's what is happening with all those multi-contacts. All right, it is finished, and I'm very happy with it. It plays great. The neck is a little straighter. I adjusted the truss rod. I adjusted the action of the strings and the intonation, and it plays exactly how I want it to play now, and it looks fantastic. Just look at that. That just looks excellent. I'm very happy with it. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to fire up the amp. It's a tube amp, so it has to wait for those vacuum tubes inside to warm up. Let's see here. It's still warming up a little bit. All right, there we go. There we go. Before we go any further, I want to apologize for the audio quality. I noticed as I'm editing this video that the microphone within my phone's camera here, it kind of has a noise canceling effect to it, so you're going to notice the sound
the audio, like cutting out and getting muffled every once in a while. Like it's really weird, and it's meant to be like a noise canceling, audio equalizing automatic feature. It's not meant for actually capturing sound in the way that I'm trying to do it. So the volume and the audio is going to cut out or be muffled from time to time as I'm playing. I need to figure out how to fix that. I need to figure out what kind of like pro audio stuff I could get my hands on, so that way I'm recording the video and the audio separately, and I don't have that issue. It's going to be twice the editing when I do that, but I won't have this issue that you are about to hear. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to the bridge pickup, the single coil. I'll roll on all the volume and tone. There we go. It's the twangy. A little country vibe. So there is one thing on this high E. I don't have the intonation set perfectly. It's just slightly off. So this is E, and this should be one octave higher than that. It's almost there. Yeah, I just need to dial it in a little bit better. It's just not quite there. So as I go higher in the notes just slightly fall off away from what they should be, just a tad bit. But that's something I got to adjust and get in there. But. All right, now let's see. Let's add some effects to it. This is a fuzz octave. Sounds good with that. We're going to take off the fuzz octave and just go with a fuzz. That sounds good. Let's add a little bit of phase on there. Maybe a little tremolo. All right, let's add a little bit of that octave fuzz back in so it's... Wow. I'm going to keep playing around with this, but I'm happy with this build. I've never had a Telecaster before, and now I do, and it has a lot of just beautiful custom work done by me on it that has made it my own. And this all came from a $100 cheap, Amazon purchase.